this video, we're going to be talking about order of operations using fractions. So all of the examples we go through are going to have fractions in them some way. First, what we want to do though is we need to review our regular order of operations and how we can remember that. Then we're going to go over some rules for how to add, subtract, multiply and divide fractions. Remember, adding and subtracting are the same, and multiplying and dividing just has one little trick. And finally, we're going to solve some examples and work through them together. And with those worked examples, I would copy them down. So first we're going to review BIMDAS, which is how we remember our order of operations. Now this goes brackets, so anything inside brackets you do first, then anything that has an indice or to a power or that little number above it, you do next. Then we multiply and divide. Now these happen at the same time, and then we add or subtract. And again, with multiplication and division, you do those whichever comes first. Same with addition and subtraction. Whichever one comes first, you do that. Now, the rules for adding and subtracting fractions, there's pretty much only one of them. To add and subtract fractions, the bottom number, our denominator, must be the same. You can't add or subtract fractions if you have a different denominator. So that's the important one to remember. Now, for multiplying fractions, again, this is probably easier than adding or subtracting fractions. All you need to do is you multiply the top numbers together, then you multiply the bottom numbers together. So we'll just do a small example here. So we have 2 over 3 times 1 over 3. So that equals 2 times 1 over 3 times 3. So 2 times 1 equals 2, 3 times 3 equals 9. Okay, and that's all you need to do. Now our rules for dividing fractions is very similar to multiplying, but we have one more step. So what you're going to do is you're going to flip that back fraction and then multiply like before. So here we have 2 over 3 divide 5 over 7. And what you're going to do is you're going to rewrite that as 2 over 3 times 7 over 5. Now you just multiply like normal. So 2 times 7 over 3 times 5 equals 2 times 7 is 14, 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, so that's the rules that we need to be able to do before we start doing order operations with our fractions. So we're going to go over a few different examples. I would copy them down if you can, even if you need to re-watch this section a few times, because they're very helpful to be able to revise later on if you get stuck when you're working from home. Okay, so our first one is going to be half plus a quarter times 3 over 5. Now our multiply comes first, so we're going to do the quarter times 3 over 5. So we write it out, half plus 1 times 3 over 4 times 5. Then we're going to write our next line of working, so half plus 1 times 3 equals 3 over 4 times 5 equals 20. Now the problem is, now that we're adding, our denominators aren't the same. So we're going to have to find our lowest common multiple. And if you times 2 by 10, you're going to get 20. So what we're going to do is times that whole first fraction by 10 over 10. Okay, so we make that denominator 20. So 10 times 1 is 10, over 10 times 2 is 20, plus 3 over 20. And now that our denominators are the same, we can simply add them together like a normal fraction. So 10 plus 3 over 20 equals 13 over 20. And that can't be simplified anymore. Okay? So we're going to do 2 more like that. So here we've got 2/3 times 4 over 5 minus 2 over 5. So we're going to do our multiplication first. So 2 times 4 over 3 times 5 minus 2 over 5. So 2 times 4 is 8, over 3 times 5 is 15, minus 2 over 5. Now we're subtracting, so our denominators need to be the same. So what can we times 5 by to make it equal 15? we can times it by 3. So we're going to times that back fraction by the fraction 3 over 3. Okay, so 8 over 15 minus 3 over 3 times 2 over 5. And we have almost an order of operations in here again, because we're doing that multiplication first. So 8 over 15 minus 3 times 2 over 3 times 5. So 8 over 15 minus 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15. Our denominators are the same, so now we can just simply subtract the two numerators. So we get 8 minus 6 equals 2 over 15. Okay. Now we've got one final example, and this is the hardest one. It takes a bit longer, but we'll be able to work through it. So we've got 2 over 5 divided by 3 over 4 plus 8 over 10. So we're going to do our divide first because that's our order of operations. That comes first. So we need to rewrite that in ways that we can multiply. So we're going to flip that back fraction to be 4 over 3 plus 8 over 10. So now we can rewrite our multiplication. So 2 times 4 over 5 times 3 plus 8 over 10. 2 times 4 is 8 over 5 times 3 is 15 plus 8 over 10. Now we have a bit of an issue where our denominators don't easily go into each other, but we have a lowest common multiple of 30. So both numbers go into 30. So what we're going to do here is times them by the fractions that we need to get our denominators to 30. So we're going to times 8 over 15 by 2 over 2, and we're going to times 8 over 10 by 3 over 3, and you'll see what happens. So 2 times over 2 times 8 over 15 plus 3 over 3 times 8 over 10. Now when we go through and do our addition, when we simplify now, we'll have the same base denominator. So 2 times 8 over 2 times 15 plus 3 times 8 over 3 times 10. So now we simplify. So 2 times 8 is 16 over 2 times 15 is 30 plus 3 times 8 is 24 over 3 times 10 is 30. And now we have that same base denominator. So we just go 16 plus 24 equals 40 over 30. And that's an improper fraction, so we can simplify that to 1 and 10 over 30. And again, we can even simplify that more. Because 10 and 30 have a factor of 10, we can do 1 and 1/3. Okay, I know we went through those quite quickly, so you can re-watch those to make sure you've got all the working down. But we'll leave the video there for now, and hopefully then you can understand it a bit better now. So we'll say bye for now, and we'll see you in the next video.